Hi, everybody. It's Jason the Game Change Nerd, and we're here again with our good friend Stacy Mulligan to do the second in our series of DiSC and Change. We've talked about the D, and we talked about how they're direct and they're very no nonsense is probably a good word for them. We'll talk about a group today that is still equal in pace to the Ds, but their focus is different. More people focus versus the task focus, which is going to be the Is. As a precursor, Stacy and I are both Is, so you may notice that energy as we talk about ourselves, because we love to do that. And we'll also talk about the differences with the other styles, but
we'll try.
Not a guarantee. And we'll see if we can keep this under a half an hour, because that will be the other thing that we might struggle with, is keeping it timely. And
full disclosure, enter at your own risk on this one.
We've already lost the Ds. The Ds are gone.
Yeah.
So, there's too much lightheartedness for them, which is okay. But we'll resonate with the Is and the S's for sure on this one, because there'll be more people oriented. Since we are Is, I think this video could almost be like, how do we? Instead of always saying, how can Is, it might be a little more relatable to say, how do we deal with change?
Oh, yeah.
How do we drive change? So let's say a typical I. How would you say a typical I approaches change?
So Is aren't afraid of change. They will adjust and keep going. They are spontaneous, which can be good and bad, because they will spontaneously decide, this is what I'm going to do, and then a minute later spontaneously decide, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do this instead. So if you've ever been out with an I and you're like, I thought we were going to the grocery store, and meanwhile you're like at the airport going to Mexico, that's what happens in an I's brain. They say, yeah, well, we're not going to go grocery shopping. I thought we'd go on a trip instead.
And who's that going to disrupt the most?
Everybody. Well, the S, absolutely. C, 100%. D's may go along with it if they are feeling like they're in charge in some way.
Yeah.
But otherwise, everybody else's head are just exploding.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't understand. What kind of a system is that? And we're like, we have no systems.
But it'll be a good time, right? The I will make it a good time. The structure may not be there. The system may not be there. The spreadsheet with the bullet points for all the details of the hotels you're going to stay in may not be there, but you're going to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fun isn't getting there.
The fun isn't getting there. But not everybody sees that.
No.
And I think one of the misconceptions about Is is that we are so unstructured and that we are so loosey-goosey that we can't get anything done. And that's actually far from the truth.
Yes, that is far from the truth. One thing we're very good at is inspiring others to do things. So whereas D motivates you to do it, like, oh, I's inspire you to do it. You're like, yeah, I want to do that too, even though it was something they would never do. Here's what I'll say. If you're not the I watching this, if you have ever found yourself in a place, a restaurant, a library place that might have been very random, and you were like, how did I get here? An I invited you. When an I invites you, you go, because they make it sound like it's going to be the best thing ever. And they also do that for, hey, I have a great business idea. I can't tell you how many times that my longtime friend she's probably D and C, and she's just definitely more on the detailed side. And she'd say, I have this idea for a business. And I would say, great. And she said, it's actually a true story. She says, I went to an event and it said, get gumball machines. This is a long time ago. So get a gumball machine. You put the quarter in, M&Ms come out. And she said, they said to start with 2 or 3. And I was like, yeah, that's great. I said, let's get 50. And she's like, no. I said, yeah, but if we buy 50, they give us 4 for free. And I was like, yeah. Well, we did, because I said that. And one day we were putting together 54 candy machines in my 1-bedroom apartment. And that's what happens when an I gets involved. They get very excited. We're very excitable, right? And we will take you with us. Incidentally, we did put all those candy machines together, and we did place all of those candy machines, but we did not fully follow through on everything after that, because it was no longer fun to go to random places across town, empty the money, put more candy, right? There would be problems, and so the fun was gone. So I always like to live where the fun is. It was fun to get all of those candy machines, and it was actually fun to put them all together in a space that didn't allow for any kind of movement at all. The whole apartment was filled with candy machines.
Is that generally the barrier? Is the fun? The fun goes away, and so then they just get...
I think it is. It's the fun, and also I think it's the thrill of the chase. I have a lot of thrill of the chase. I want to create it. I want to build it. I want to have the excitement of the process of making it. And once I do, it's like, oh, all right, now you're going to get into, okay, every day you're going to do this and check this box. And that's when I get like, no thanks. Nah.
Too mechanical, too structured.
Yeah.
Too...
It loses me.
Okay.
I definitely don't do well with, check this box every day, the same box, check the box. I want, chaos. I honestly, I do. I like a little chaos because I like to fix it.
But you're very successful in what you do about teaching DiSC and helping others get to it. We'll put links in the show notes below. How have you developed that structure? How have you developed that capacity?
Yes, well, so there's a lot. There's some C in me. I have a number of Excel spreadsheets going right now. I do see a lot of detail. I just don't care to do detail work all day.
Okay.
So one of the things that I do have that I wish I didn't was the perfectionism that comes from C. And I have since tried to, I'm a recovering perfectionist, I say. And I've adopted, still difficult, but I've adopted that, better done than perfect.
Okay.
Because I would, just never finish it. Eyes tend to not finish things. Sometimes they just get interested in something else and move on. Or sometimes they just say, yeah, it's not fun anymore. I don't want to do that,
So it's an acquired thing then. You've had to learn how to build that structure into giving
Yes. Yes, because in reality, I created a lot of classes and workshops, and what it entailed was not just the knowledge of knowing DiSC, but to be able to create slides and everything. Slides that aren't PowerPoint slides, but slides that are fun. But also, if you look at my slides, nothing will be off center. Nothing will be too close to the edge because my eye sees that, and that's not okay. So when I do get into that mode, I can get in there, but I need to get out of it. I can't stay a long time. It tires me out.
Yeah.
But I can do it because I have done it. So
you generally, I don't think we'll see an eye stuck in analysis paralysis because they'll be like,
no,
they'll get over it and move on.
No. Yeah. Oh, look, a chicken.
Yeah. And then I'll get back to my spreadsheet later.
Yeah.
Maybe. Nothing.
All right. Why are you watching me?
We had talked about in the D video that sometimes you can have a body count if they are pushing for things to happen so quickly or without considering people or where they're at or their feelings or any of that kind of stuff. Eyes would, I think it's safe to say, are opposite of that. They are about the inclusion. They are about bringing everybody on the journey.
I would say yes, but also eyes, if once they have an agenda, there's no stopping them. So if you're not, you either get on the train or we'll see you later.
Okay.
Eyes still have that. They just are nicer about it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you don't want to get on the train? No problem. See ya.
Yeah. Bye. They'll
It's
wave
nice
at you.
knowing you. Yeah, have a good time. Bon voyage.
They'll wave as you're leaving the station. The Love Boat, when they were throwing the confetti and all that stuff, it was a good time, but they were leaving you. Yeah. That's such a great, that ages me, but I'm okay
me
with
too.
That. But that's where, we can do that too. We can actually, I think this is an acquired trait too, is eyes can squirrel but come back.
Yeah.
I think you have to, if you let it get out of control.
Right. Well, then you're just a disaster.
Yeah.
We all have our strong suits.
Yeah.
Yeah. But eyes are excellent leaders in the way that they inspire others to do things.
Yeah.
But they also can be perceived as too much for some people, right? Because you always see them coming in the room. There's no question that an eye came in the room.
You usually hear them down the hall.
You hear them. And even though they're acting as if they're coming in quietly, it's not usually possible. Yeah. There's an entrance.
Yes, there is an entrance. There's an entrance. We're here. Start the show. Start the party for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I have sometimes been accused is not the right word, but people have sometimes misunderstood my passion for anger. Have you had any experience with that with eyes where that, and maybe it's pushing a little, like you said, a little hard, but yeah, have you ever had that where the passion and the enthusiasm have been misunderstood?
Yeah, 100%. So D and I are outgoing, right? S and C are reserved. So D is outgoing in a dominant type of way, but I is still outgoing, and they will try to get their way, right? But they'll inspire you, they'll invite you, but they can be, we can be serious about it. When we want something, And we know that that's the thing. Think of Iron Man, okay? Think of Tony Stark, not Iron Man. Not when he is Iron Man, but as Tony Stark, he has all of his ideas put together, and it's basically his way or the highway. He's very much, he peacocks all the time. Look at me, look at what I've done. I've accomplished these things. He has a lot of a D in him because that's ego, like the confidence, right? I say ego and people think that's a bad word, but it's not. It's just that he's full of confidence, but he does inspire people to do the things with his projects. He doesn't say, this is what we're doing. He's like, and wouldn't it be grand? And look at what I've created, right? And now you too can enjoy this because I have created this for you, right? Now him and Jarvis.
Yes.
But he's a high C and he needs them. Yeah, because Tony Stark is like, I think I'm going to do this. And Jarvis is like, sir, excuse me, but I will need, for you to download some information to me. Yeah, we need C in our world.
Which I feel could be a whole nother video, or maybe we do that one time, is maybe we take some television and movie things, because I notice a lot of times in TVs and movies, they'll create conflict between characters when they pit the styles against each other. So they'll pit an I against a C, like Sheldon and Penny from The Big Bang Theory, for example.
100%.
Sheldon's a super high C, and their conflict that natural comes from that. So I think that's a good contrast to look at. Right. And I know we've talked about the videos to watch. It's always good to watch your own style. It might be a little better to watch the opposite styles.
Yes, and learn from them.
Yeah. Are there reputational issues that can come from eyes who start change and don't finish if they keep doing that?
Yeah, because they can be labeled a lot of times as frazzled and not put together, and they just seem so distracted all the time. And that could be true, that they're easily distracted. I shouldn't say they, because I am one. I am easily distracted. A shiny object is, I'm like, ooh, let me look at this. So I have to work really hard to stay in the zone, even on a project that I'm really enjoying, because I'll get a new idea. You'll know an I because they'll say, I just had this great idea. And then they'll tell you a story about the great idea. That's how you know you're talking to an I. They always have a great idea. Whether or not it's great is debatable, but to them, it's a great idea. I'm going to say you and I, whatever ideas we've ever had are great ideas.
Every one of them.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they were fantastic. And the world lost out if they didn't do anything with it.
Right?
Not us.
Get on the train or don't.
Gone.
Bye, Felicia.
I can always tell if I have too many ideas because I can see people's eyes glaze over. D's and C's especially, but they will. Their eyes, they're looking at you, but there's a disconnect that just happens because I have not, and that's usually my sign to it's too much.
Dial back.
Because you have some classes and some assessments that can help people with their determination of styles and give them tips and tools on how to navigate these different.
Yeah, one of the best things about taking the assessment is it shows you your strengths in black and white. And it does show you, where you don't shine as well. But I think it's really important to see that a lot of your natural characteristics are really strengths. But as always, a strength on the opposite side is a weakness, right? Like our strength as eyes to be spontaneous could also be considered a weakness, because if we're so spontaneous that we're changing our mind all the time and doing the next thing, then potentially we're not finishing something, right? And so, or we could be deemed unreliable because we say, well, I'll do that now. And now they're like, yeah, but I thought you were doing this. So it can turn into that, but I think it's important to see your strengths and where they lie. It's nice to see a wonderful description of yourself on a piece of paper.
Absolutely, they do. It speaks to you. Every time I've ever taken DiSC, it's always been me on paper. Subtle shifts, depending on what might be going on in life. Sometimes when there's an enormous amount of support going on, I'll drift towards an S. Sometimes when I've been in the ID quadrant too, because I've been moving things along.
Right.
But I think at the core, I'm still who I am. But also, years of awareness, years of feedback, years of training have refined. And this is where I think if people are curious to develop that skill, whether you can contact Stacy, again, we'll put her stuff in the show notes, is to get some insights into understanding not only the differences, but how to adapt. I think that's where, to your point, because if they're so radically different from us, we may not know how to adapt. We just may say our way or the highway regardless of our style, and then there's conflict because, well, I'm a C and you're just going to deal with it. Getting to that halfway point is tough. Can be really tough.
It is. It's hard. It's hard to not be you. And again, you're not trying to not be you. You're just trying to adjust in the moment so the other person feels seen and heard.
Yeah.
So, and it can be simple. A crumb.
Yeah.
Just change a crumb.
Yeah.
Little bit. You don't have to change the whole cookie. It's just a little piece of the crumb that you say something different instead, or shift, knowing who you're talking to.
Yeah.
And it makes all the difference.
Crumb analogy is so important because I think sometimes we think we have to make major shifts to get there.
Right.
You don't. It's just a tiny thing. I can do an email with bullet points to handle the C's, and they're happy. And that took me how long?
Right.
A couple extra minutes. It was no big deal.
Yep. Yeah.
But I noticed too that a lot of times when I'm communicating with people, either via text or email or other types of things, punctuation can sometimes tell me what style I'm dealing with. Because as eyes, what do we tend to add at the end of every sentence?
An exclamation point.
Or 3. And there's smiley emojis, and there's all of these energetic things. And so, C's I tend to get, D's I tend to get spelling errors. C's won't allow spelling errors. I've noticed that.
Nice.
S
Correct.
might be, do you think you could kind of sort of maybe possibly perhaps respond to this text?
And have a blessed day.
And have a blessed day. Which are all supportive things that matches that stuff. But if you're, sometimes that could be a simple thing too, is a warm introduction, a quick hello.
Right.
I think we've worked with DiSC enough to know that when people come straight for us, so here's the deal, we just know.
Right.
But there might be styles that might find that abrasive. Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah. Especially C.
Yeah.
C's like, what are you doing to me? Why are you still talking? And why haven't you answered any of my questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
What advice would you give an I that might find themselves getting lost in their own conversation?
Okay, well, my advice to me is it's not always all about you. Even though I don't feel like, oh, I'm self-centered and it's all about me and look at me, but sometimes my energy will give that off. And that's not really what I'm trying to do. I think eyes tend to take everything that's in their head and what they're thinking and just let it out of their mouth. And so that's why it seems like they're always talking and, that it's just nonstop. But what was the question? What advice would I give to I about what?
You stuck the landing because you came back to the original question. I think sometimes we get so caught up in the story that we literally dance all around it and we never stick the landing. And that can be, I can see where that can be irritating.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It absolutely can. They're going like this. Like, can you get to the point already?
Yes.
Right. Get to the point. So, yeah, I think as eyes, we need to remember that our energy is up here and most people's energy is here. And we need to remember that because even though our energy is usually good energy and high energy, it's too much for some people. It's too much for a room. It depends where you're going. Right? Like read the room. That's actually one of the names of one of my classes is read the room and win the sale.
Yeah.
Because when you can read who's in the room and who you're talking to, that changes everything. This is me, my high I, what was the question? That's actually me. But when I'm talking to people on purpose, not just a regular old conversation, I shift. And it doesn't mean that I'm not Stacy anymore. It just means that I'm not as much, right? Because typically I'm #too much.
I really appreciate you bringing that up because in our series of the 5 change things, what's in it for me, why are we doing this, why are we giving up all those things, we talk about change fatigue. And I think we sometimes inadvertently create that. Because we're so full of great ideas, we're so full of energy, we so want things to happen, we so want everybody to be successful and everybody to meet their maximum potential, that we then throw out too much. And then people are like, oh, you're crushing me, you're killing me.
Right. Yeah.
That's really good awareness that you have about that too, that you have to adapt based off of the people, which I know comes from your extensive knowledge of DiSC, workshops that you
practice.
Yeah, it takes time. I think there's a disadvantage that can come from having the energy, the fun, the excitement. If I'm trying to drive change and I've worn everybody out because I pinball from idea to idea and I can't finish one thing, it's nice to just be aware of when I'm driving change and interacting with people that I could be causing friction.
Yes, definitely. I think as eyes in a leadership role and when we are trying to drive change, we need to have somewhat of a filter, right? Where we don't just let every grand idea come right out, and we need to process a little bit before. I know process is like a bad word for I. That's S's word. But we do need to process it and give a what is it called? Like a footnote, right? Or no, what's the book called when it's the short version of the book?
Like abridged or cliff notes or something
Cliff
like
notes.
that. Yeah.
Cliff notes, right? We need to give the cliff notes instead of our grand idea and the story of how it became so, and right? And people just want to know, well, do you have bread for sale or not? Why are you telling me a story about how you learned how to make sourdough bread and how your mother is unhappy in the kitchen, but now she's happy because you did? Do you have bread or don't you have bread? And we need to sort of do our internal processing and then spit it out.
Yeah.
Because we're powerful when we inspire on purpose rather than let everybody in here.
Yeah. That's where the understanding of DiSC, the assessments of the workshops that you do bring that awareness to the forefront. So you could be like, okay, I'm dealing with this particular style. I'm going to have to make the following adjustments and not let every idea just flow. Maybe journal, maybe do video channels on YouTube, whatever, to get your ideas out there. But, you know, right place, right time, right group of people. And get it going.
Yeah.
I think we've managed to keep this to a reasonable amount of time. I don't think we let this go.
I doubt it. I don't think reasonable goes with I.
No.
But it's okay.
Doesn't. But it's been a lot of fun.
It has been fun. Did we get a point across?
Leave it in the comments below. That's how we'll know. We will find out by hearts, likes, and comments if we stuck the landing on this one, or because we know we lost the D's and C's a long time ago. But
they are so gone. Their head is exploding.
This is a great way to demonstrate it, though. And if the D's and C's want to have a little more fun, then now they know who to call.
100%.
They can give us a call and we can help you out with it. If people want to get to know more, if people want to learn more about DiSC and get some workshop schedules, where can they find more information?
Yes, well, they can find me all over social media, Stacy Mulligan, the DiSC Queen, and also on my main website, which is thestacymulligan.com. No E in Stacy.
Great.
And I know you'll have it somewhere so people can click instead of try to type all that in.
We'll drop it in the show notes because I know that, and we've talked extensively in all of these videos, the difference it would make in life if we had this early on. And so I don't think it's ever too late to learn about DiSC. I don't think it's ever too late to get to know what other styles are. If you're in the midst of personal change or you need to drive personal change and you're not getting what you'd hope for, DiSC is a great tool to help you get there and to help you identify the other styles that you can collaborate with to get your stuff through. So that if you are a high I, and you're struggling with the details and you're struggling with the why and you can't get your significant other to agree to painting the powder room red, then get a hold of a C who can help you get the right date and the details to get that through.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, this has been fun though.
This has been fun.
This has been fun. And I'm sure there's going to be treats and some kind of goodies for us afterwards. So be sure to watch the next in the series when we talk about the S and then eventually get to the C, and we talk about how each of those styles can help you get the change accomplished that you want to. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it was
cool.
fun.
A lot of fun.
We even wore fun colors.
We did it. Yes, we did. That was an inadvertent thing. See, again, so yeah, they get to see an eye. So if you recognize yourself in this video, welcome to the club.
We love you.
We love everybody. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.